Hello, my name is Petros Konaris and welcome to a bathing performance, a one-with-one happening of nakedness and care. In this small video, I will briefly introduce myself and my work with nakedness and then move more specifically into the structure and what's going to happen in the performance, in a bathing performance. Few words about me. I have been working between the theme of nakedness and the naked bodies, between the fields of live art, participatory art and dance. Why am I interested in nakedness? I would say the main reason is just because I enjoy being naked, and I see nakedness connected with playfulness, intimacy and gentleness. And through my work, I'm interested in somehow finding these links and understanding those links, and somehow see where that leads me and where do I go from there, connecting those. In my performances, I am trying to create safe spaces where people can actively explore nakedness and their naked bodies, both individually or as a collective. How am I doing that? I propose ways, depending on the performance and the context, I propose a way to explore and see nakedness, and these proposals come from my research the past years and also my personal experience with nakedness. And the proposals, it's not fixed or absolute, so it's open for alterations. And why am I saying that? One of my main goals, or let's say rules, is I do not want to force anyone to do something that they do not want to. So for me, my proposal is somehow starts as a starting point, and then we discuss together and find ways to engage with nakedness in a way that it's comfortable for everyone. So for me, this meeting is about also listening, exchanging, and find ways, different ways to engage with nakedness so everyone is comfortable and interested to try. So that's why I say it's not fixed or absolute, so it's open for alterations. So this is a small introduction of my work and how am I working with nakedness, but let's move more specifically into a bathing performance. As I said before, it's a one-with-one happening of nakedness and care that I invite one audience member at a time to share a bathing experience with me. And I'm using bathing as an entry point to explore nakedness in an intimate, platonic way. But let's talk about the structure because it's slightly complex. First, you will need to book a performance slot. The performance is available the whole June, and the booking link is available in my website and also in the Facebook events. So first you book a performance slot, and a week before the day of the performance, I will send you an email with the possible locations of the bathing performance. And I will ask you to select one of those locations that you would like to have the performance, or propose one location or one space yourself. And the location that I propose include a private apartment that is booked specifically for the performance, a sauna, and 2 natural places. In the email I will give you more info about those spaces, and somehow with some pictures, and also discussing how private or how public the space is, so you can get a bit more clear idea about the location and what the performance, how is the performance going to be. And as I said, if you don't like my proposals, you can propose to me a different one. My only requirement is to have some kind of water, so we can have the possibility of bathing. So we have selected the location, and then on the day and time of the performance, we meet there. At that space and time, I will give you this book, a bathing performance course, where this book includes many performance scores where I will guide you and I will ask you to read them, and you can select one score which will say what and how we will perform the bathing. Before going more deeply into this book and the scores, I will read you some scores and bathing scores, and what do I mean by that. This is a book from a different project I had 2 years ago, and the way I'm using scores, I use them as a guidelines or instructions or suggestions on how to perform something. In this situation, how to perform our bathing. But I will read you like a few scores from this book. Here is one. Stand in the middle of an empty room, wearing lots of clothes and your shoes. Start jumping. Take off your clothes without stop jumping. Continue jumping naked. Stop whenever you want. And let's go to another one. Undress slowly. Observe and interact with the space slowly. Dress whenever you want. So as you can see, it's just somehow like guidelines or instructions on how to do something in this specific context, to how to like a way of undressing. And some of the scores are more open and flexible, some are more specific. But the interpretation of the scores is completely up to you. So there isn't any right or wrong way to perform them. But let's move back to a bathing performance scores. These scores have to do with bathing, obviously, and nakedness. And there isn't any pressure to be physically naked if you don't want to be, or you feel intimidated to be. So in these scores and in different locations, I have scores that invite you to be naked in different ways, and also to engage, to be have different levels of intimacy. And you can select the one that you feel more comfortable at that specific time. And there is also a score that I invite you to have a discourse about nakedness without any need to be physically naked. So as I said, there are different the proposals have different ways of being naked and different levels of intimacy, and it's up to you to select one. Or again, you can propose a series of actions that you want to do in this bathing situation. If you are going to propose something, I will say, for me, it would be great if it would be related to bathing and nakedness, since it's what is the performance about. But you can take those two concepts as abstract or as specific as you want. So the performance. First, you book a performance slot. I send you an email with the locations. We select the location. We meet at the location, and you select the score, and then we perform the score. The last part, after performing the bathing score, we have a writing part where I use as a closing act, and which is somehow like writing our reflections and what just happened and how do we feel. It's not mandatory, and I'm going to do it also individually. I'm going to do it as well, and I feel it somehow rounds up everything and puts everything into like a closing the situation. And this is what is the structure of the performance. I hope it's a bit more clearer now. Another part of the bathing performances in June is the discussions. On the 1st, on the 10th, the 20th and the 30th of June, I'm going to have discussions where I will somehow like engage in a casual talk with people and the participants about nakedness and related topics. And by related topics, I mean everyday life, gender, private and public spaces, water and hygiene and bathing, and also personal experiences and thoughts. I'm interested to share how do you feel about nakedness and what makes you comfortable, or like somehow to describe a situation that you were uncomfortable with nakedness. And yeah, just share like thoughts in a casual way over tea. Uh, I think that was it for the video. Thank you for listening to me. Again, I hope it was more clear and somehow fruitful. And I hope to see you soon.